Hello and welcome at LW Sonics. In this video I'm going to show you a full-blown mix setup of the song Lie by the band Headrawkers. It's already out there on all the streaming platforms where you can listen to it as it is, or as I've mixed it and mastered it. And the thing is, the important stuff in this video is not really the plugins I use, it's more like how I use them and why I use them. So I hope you'll see something useful for yourself in this video. A quick note before we start, I have now opened 3 slots for you guys to send me whatever you're working on at the moment, your demos or your rough recordings or DIY recordings, and I'm gonna give you 3 honest and professional feedback on them. So hit me up with a DM on Instagram or send your stuff via files@lwsonics.com. The link is also down there. And I'll check it out and get back with feedback to you. It's completely for free, but the thing is there are only 3 slots left right now. And now let's get to the video. So let's get to the mix. This was recorded live off the floor, all playing together in the same room, so we will hear a lot of bleed in there. The kick was recorded, let's start with the drums. The kick was recorded with a boundary microphone, sounding like this. And it was processed with a FabFilter EQ and a distressor. So this is the FabFilter, getting some oomph in there, some attack and getting rid of some mid-range, and the distressor for some more attack. Not doing that much. And then the outside mic also got a FabFilter EQ, same one, and also the same distressor. Very, very fast, a slow attack and a faster release. Sounds like this. Without. And what later on happened is that I summed those 2 microphones and re-recorded it. I ran them through our output into my SPL Transient Designer mono and recorded back the group so it sounded like this. So it's more attack, and this is something that I get from this piece of hardware, very good. And since it was all played live off the floor, I used some AI stuff to get rid of the bleed. Really like how this thing works. Then the kick was processed with an SSL 4K-G channel. Sorry, only kick. So I got rid of some top end and boosted some low end, and a little tiny bit of compression on the bass drum. So that's the bass drum. Oh, no, not yet, because there's also a trigger added, which also got a little bump at 100 Hertz. So here's a trigger signal produced by, I found some, I put together a few samples in Slate Trigger. Yeah, like a very modern kick, which was then later on layered. So the kick all in total is this. So nearly no bleed and a very punch-on modern bass drum sound. Then same goes on with the snare. The snare was sent in with 2 microphones. Snare top, obviously. Snare bottom. And these were also summed and went through an output through a hardware SPL Transient Designer, where I, same as the kick, I lowered the sustain and increased the attack. And this came back, let me play this to you, just as this track. So, and also there's this Acon thing on there to get rid of some bleed. I do use this Acon thing and not a gate because this lets ghost notes through way, way better. So I don't mute anything important from the snare track. Then the snare was also triggered, so it was layered with a sample, this one. So to get this boing thing in there. And then there's also a snare room sample. I will play the snare to you without it and with the room to create this ambience around it. Also kick and snare together. So what you hear is just the re-recorded track from the hardware and the added samples. So this is now kick snare and the snare room. So, and what you maybe heard there were the toms. The toms also start the song. And there's some processing going on the recorded toms. I'm gonna play to you the first rag tom. This is how it was recorded. It was obviously edited. Later on, I put on this expander thing from the MB Pro Fab Filter, which is a dual expander, which opens up when it's triggered, so it makes the signal louder, but it's different. So you see that the lower end of the signal has a longer release and the top end has a shorter release. So the whole top end disappears faster than the low end, which is cool with toms because you can make it ring boom, but all the cymbal stuff for the higher things in the tom mic, you just get rid of before earlier. So this is why this is here. And then again the icon to get rid of some bleed. And also these tracks were at the beginning edited, but then it worked so good I didn't edit it anymore because I didn't have to. So it took away some work from my hand. So all toms put together, they go into, like this is a group, 3 toms, go into a EQ, which boosts a little bit at 192, like this tone of the toms, got rid of some of this honky mid-range, and just at 16K a roll-off because I don't need anything up there with when processing toms or mixing toms. So this is like a tom break, I think, with all 3 of them. Yes. Here they're all 3. Exactly. So you can hear there's almost no bleed in there. I can play to you how it was actually recorded, which sounded like this. And with the plugins engaged, you just hear this. Very clean. Then the overheads, they got a nice chain on because there is this remix plugin where you can remix the balances, which works very, very good. So I lowered the hi-hat and the cymbals and emphasized the kick and the snare. So let me play this to you with all the processing so you can even hear it more drastically. So let's switch this off and just listen to our overheads. And now. So with it, the shells, the drums get louder and all the cymbals get quieter. So this is a very cool way of rebalancing stuff. I like very much. Then here is the Fab Filter, just getting rid of some resonances from the cymbals. Like this one, that one, this one. I can play them to you like this. So I surgically searched for them by my own. Then there's a compressor which just pushes the snare into the mix and that has the snare poking out of there. Too much. Then there's this Siemens EQ that I like very much to boost top end, and yeah, it's just top end. And the high frequency compressor of SSL to get rid of some harshness. Doesn't do that much. Let's see. Yeah, some hits. Let's listen to the overheads without the plugins. And with. Yeah. Without. And with. Way more upfront, way better balance between drums and cymbals. And then I had some spot mics for especially the ride, which is only edited to the spaces where the ride is actually playing, to get some more of ride in there. I'm gonna play the whole drum set now and add in this ride cymbal. So to get the right, more audible in the whole mix. Yeah, that's it. And then there's some stuff going on the drum bass. First of all, there's an EQ on there, which is increasing top end and also getting rid of some resonances. This is on the whole drum bass now. Without it, with it. Then some distortion on the drum bass. Fun thing, no distortion up until 177 Hz, like in the lower end, and only clean tape distortion, saturation more in the upper range, because I don't want the low end to get any kind of distortion. Then it goes into Eric Valentine's wonderful Unfairchild plugin that I love very, very much, to really get the distortion going on the drums. Yes. And then there is a clipper on there. Now let's get to the bass guitar. This was recorded using a regular DI. Nothing too fancy about it. Let's get to the plugins. So we got a fab filter going on to just get rid of low lows and everything above 6 kHz, which I didn't need in there. And the MB filter flow to get a stable low end and some more compression by fab filter to have a clean compression to level out the signal. So let's listen to the bass without it. Yes, so let's switch it on. So we get rid of this kind of stuff, this clicky thing and the lows. Then stabilizing the low end and compressing it, yeah, as you can see. So you can see the gain reduction over here and also over here. Exactly. So that's the bass. Let's play some bass with drums. You can already hear some guitars in the bleed. I really hope you enjoyed the video so far. And if you're already thinking about the stuff that you are working on at the moment, don't forget there are still 3 open slots for you guys to send in your stuff and where I can then give you my free, honest and professional feedback on. And now back to the video. So let's get to the guitars. They were recorded using a DI, one SM57 and one Sennheiser 906. I'm pretty sure it sounds like it. And the guys told me. So we have the DI, which is actually also a part of the mix to make the guitar sound more well defined. But let's start with the mics. So yeah, this is one dynamic mic without all the plugins. So this is what happened first. Because of the bleed in the room, I had to put this EQ on. Then this is summed with this one. Quieter, also same EQ. And then there is the DI track added in. Heavily compressed, very quiet, but just to get some definition into the guitar sound again. This bass of this one guitar has a boosted 4 kHz and is also compressed again a tiny bit to stabilize it. It was recorded with the reverb. And then this goes into the guitar bass, which starts with a virtual rack bass late with a trick which is very handy for a bit dull guitars, which is this FG36A, which is a Dolby section, like this Dolby unit to increase high ends. This is a certain trick from the 80s or 90s that people did, which Slate put into a plugin. Then it's got some 3 dB boost of an API EQ which is not engaged, so this didn't happen. But it has a boost around 3.7 with this Neve EQ, and I cut down some lows and also some of the very top end. And there is the API bus compressor on the guitar bus with a longer attack, high ratio, and a quite short release in a very hard setting. And then there's also an EQ again, boosting some 10K. So without it and with it, yes. So this got really gnarly, yes. And the same thing happened to the second guitar. So there's some EQ on the microphones. These get summed, the DI heavily compressed gets summed with them. So I have to disengage this one. So, oh, I put this out of the group. This is not supposed to happen. They stay in here, so they get routed through this guitar all group. Now we can hear it. That's its DI. Very quiet, very subtle. Then there is the one microphone and the other microphone summed into here. And together with the other guitar. So, and these are hard separated to the left and to the right. So one guitar is only playing on the left side of the mix, and one guitar is only played at the right side of the mix. But what I did is I sent both of them, of the signal, into a shifter, which is the micro shift by Soundtoys. And with this engaged, it gets this chorus effect and gets way more all over the place and not only so hard centered. So without the effect it's like this, and with it they shift a little bit into the center. So let's listen to some drums with bass and guitars. Oh yeah. So, and there are also some more guitars because there's kind of a lead part in there. Solo. Guitar processing on the lead part was the same. Like all these microphones are slightly processed with the same EQ curve, hitting this guitar group right here, which then has a compressor on it doing about 2 dB of gain reduction and some boost at 3.3 kilohertz. I can disengage this boost without it. So this one really helps the guitars poke out. Yeah. Then there's still this track in there which we don't need. So let's get to vocals, because I got the vocals sent in, recorded on their own, with a nice microphone into a standard preamp, but I sent it through my distressor and re-recorded. No, it was the 1176 actually, and re-recorded it, and this is where the waveform looks like this. Like a bit of a sausage already, without so much dynamics anymore. And this sounded like that.
Listen up, let me tell you a story about
Without
a friend
effects.
I had who had much more.
So the only thing I had to do was de-ess it a bit.
Listen up,
You can hear it with the listen.
listen up,
Without it.
listen up,
With it.
listen up,
Stays more inside of the mix, which is great. And I put some slap back on it,
listen up, let me tell you a story about a...
which is this Echo Boy unit with 166 milliseconds of a delay, and which used to be the gap of 2 heads of a tape machine, so this is why this is this old rock and roll delay. It's usually 166 or 160 milliseconds to get this effect. And also this M7 far reverb to create some space around the vocals.
Up, let me tell you
Without
a
the
story about a friend I had who had much worries.
And those effects are later then automated. I tend to automate the send levels, as you can see here, like this one.
These stunts! What is wrong with you?
To get some more effect in there. And there are two background vocals, one by the main singer himself, which is then background.
Well, you know I need my distance.
This is Darko, and Matt is the other singer or background singer. These tracks also went through the 1176 and now sound like this.
What is wrong with you?
Got the same processing, just a DS sound there. The only thing where there's more going on is this vocal, because this did not go through the 1176 in hardware. So this has like this chain on there and also the de-esser afterwards. So this is this.
Well, you know I need my distance.
Exactly. Now let's listen to the whole thing. And I'm gonna solo certain spots. These are all my effects. Let's get to it. Vocals.
Listen up, let me tell you a story about a friend I had who had much.
More background.
Something that's deep inside his mind. As a matter of fact, I told you a lie.
So you can now listen to the song everywhere where you can stream music. And that's a wrap on this one. And to be honest, these are my favorite kinds of videos to make, because it's just the open mixing session where I can just go through whatever I did and whatever felt right to me at that particular moment, and also what the band agreed on. So that's always very important to me, is that the artist really feels well represented with their own sound. Especially in alternative rock, it's very important to get over the messages and whatever the band is feeling and how they want to be represented. That's very important also to me. And if you are interested in more of my work, you can check out lwsonics.com, my website, or hit me up on Instagram. And don't forget, there are still 3 open slots for me to give you guys feedback on whatever you're working on at the moment. So if you have like a DIY recording of your band or some demos, send them over either via files@lwsonics.com or DM me on Instagram, and I'll get back to you with some free professional feedback. And I'm really looking forward to this. But the only thing is, better be quick, because there are only 3 slots. That's it. All the best. Take care.